Welcome to my moment. In our first episode, we are going to talk about anxiety. If you suffer because of anxiety or know someone who is experiencing the challenges of anxiety, stick around for the next few minutes or share with someone you love. Anxiety is one of the most treacherous diseases of our time. It is silent but at the same time violent because you can feel it in two ways: physically and emotionally. Talking about anxiety for many people is difficult because it reveals truths that we often don't like to hear. The best definition for anxiety is complete and utter lack of control of certain situations or people. Anxiety is the hard truth that we are not in control of everything we desire. If you look in your life and your trajectory as a person, probably the moments of greatest anxiety were those that were directly linked to something that you wanted very much, but that was far or very far from your reach. Anxiety is that feeling of powerlessness, of incapacity, of loss of rights or freedom to be, to have, or to do. Nothing is more valuable in life than being sure that everything around you is working perfectly, that your children and family are well, healthy, happy, and complete. The certainty that your work makes you a whole person and that your goals, whatever they may be, are being achieved and realized according to your daily efforts. But one day, one morning or one afternoon, you are faced with situations that are far beyond the reach of your plans, the power of your resources, or the extent of your love. It usually happens very quickly, and after opening your eyes, there you are, suffering in an anxiety crisis you have never felt before. A divorce that was not on the radar, a child with serious drug problems, your parents suffering from an incurable disease, a professional challenge that may cost you your career, or even the financial stability you have fought so hard to achieve. Yes, anxiety doesn't strike in moments of peace, and perhaps this is the main characteristic that it can't get rid of. It always appears in the moments when we feel weaker, alone, and without support. Being immune to anxiety is practically impossible, because at some point we will lose control of something we want or love. Life is a road full of surprises, and we are not the ones who program the shape of the road. We are the ones who travel on it, and the journey is mandatory. If you find it very difficult to control your anxiety daily in common scenarios that do not present any danger, such as job interviews, presentations at work or in class, or even in line at a restaurant, you are a strong candidate to be suffering from an anxiety disorder. In this context, anxiety manifests itself constantly, preventing you from completing everyday tasks or activities. Faced with a daunting situation, the heart races, the hands and feet can't sit still. Concentration is poor, and the person finds it difficult to breathe. Although the anxious person logically realizes that his reactions are exaggerated, he cannot control them. Other symptoms include irritability, constant fatigue, phobias, obsession, catastrophic thoughts, excessive worry and muscle tension, and insomnia, among others. The anxiety disorder manifests itself in such varied ways that it can give rise to others, such as panic syndrome and obsessive-compulsive disorder. In this context, anxiety manifests itself constantly, preventing you from completing everyday tasks or activities. Faced with a daunting situation, the heart races, the hands and feet can't sit still. Concentration is poor, and the person finds it difficult to breathe. Although the anxious person logically realizes that his reactions are exaggerated, he cannot control them. Other symptoms include irritability, constant fatigue, phobias, obsession, catastrophic thoughts, excessive worry and muscle tension, and insomnia, among others. The anxiety disorder manifests itself in such varied ways that it can give rise to others, such as panic syndrome and obsessive-compulsive disorder. What are the feelings of anxiety? The feeling of anxiety appears when one faces difficult situations. Although they are unpleasant, the feelings of discomfort that result from this apprehension are transient. The symptoms include tachycardia, trembling, sweating in the hands or other parts of the body, stuttering, nervousness, and negative thoughts. The determining factors are intensity and duration. The feeling dissipates after the object of the disturbance disappears and is associated with specific situations. Everyone has their limitations, so these situations can be different for each person. Therefore, we should not judge or underestimate someone who claims to be anxious in a scenario that we consider normal, but rather offer words of comfort. How to control anxiety daily. Both for those who suffer from the symptoms of generalized anxiety disorder and for mildly anxious people, it is imperative to adopt mechanisms to control anxiety. After all, who likes to feel all the negative sensations that come with it? The key to making the tips work is repetition. Trying once is not enough and will not make anxiety miraculously disappear. You need to develop positive habits by retraining your brain. It may sound complicated, but it's far from it. Our tips can be quickly and easily incorporated into your daily life. Check them out below. Practice deep breathing. Deep breathing is ancient advice. When we inhale air and exhale slowly, our brain understands that we can and should relax. The effect is almost immediate. Do relaxation techniques. After a busy workday, find some relaxing music. Turn off the lights in your room, if you prefer, and lie down comfortably. Don't think about your work, your problems, or your pending issues. Concentrate only on your breathing and the music. Preferably use headphones to deepen the relaxation. By repeating this short relaxation session daily, you will soon feel less anxiety. It may seem like a strange practice at first glance, especially if you are used to coming home and going straight to the TV. However, quiet moments like this are important for our mental health. Practice physical activities. It is more than confirmed that moving your body at least 3 times a week helps to control anxiety, as well as acting as prevention and complementary treatment for mental disorders. Physical activity releases the happiness hormones, dopamine, endorphin, and serotonin, promoting well-being and physical disposition for the rest of the day. If you don't have the habit, that's okay. Find an activity that you think you will enjoy and stick with it for the first few days. Feed good thoughts. Have you ever noticed that when we remember something embarrassing, we feel ashamed again? Or when we imagine a positive situation, our enthusiasm suddenly increases? Our thoughts have a great influence on our feelings and actions. This is why many mental disorders share the symptom of bad or disastrous thoughts. It turns out that we can modify our thoughts whenever we want. We just need to start paying more attention to them. When you feel the need to create a doomsday scenario regarding a complicated situation, visualize the exact opposite. Right after you wake up, think about pleasurable things, revisit happy memories, or list your qualities. Play at seeing the future and imagine good surprises throughout your day. In this way, you learn to expel the bad quality thoughts that don't help at all. Organize your day. Another way to control anxiety is to plan your day. Organize your household chores and appointments in a way that is easy to understand. It can be in an agenda, on a list, on a cell phone app, or a wall. This way you reduce unpredictability and build up the self-confidence to get on with the day. But here's a warning. Don't get angry or despair at the unexpected. They are completely normal. Our plans are not always followed to the letter. Have a hobby. Occupy your mind with a fun activity. If you don't know your passion, this tip is even better, because you can venture into several hobbies until you find it. The list of possibilities is endless. Musical instrument, language, reading, sport, or a skill such as cooking or drawing. Do meditation. Although deep breathing has similar effects to meditation, the practice is equally important for calming the mind and body. The first few attempts are tricky. Many people are not yet accustomed to quieting the mind. By taking just 5 minutes to meditate, however, you soon learn to concentrate solely on the sounds, your body, and your breath. Besides having the power to bring more tranquility into our lives, meditation helps to improve our emotional intelligence. With a calm mind, we can see situations more clearly and do not let ourselves be shaken by confrontations or prejudgments. Be more sociable. To be more sociable, you don't need to go out clubbing every night. Scheduling more lunches, coffees, or happy hours with loved ones is enough to satisfy the need for socialization. Being with your loved ones immediately puts you in a good mood and makes you happy. With the rush of everyday life, it's easy to succumb to the urge to rest at home or to unscheduled programs with friends. Fight it. Change your perspective. One of the hallmarks of anxiety is pessimism. When anxious, people soon focus only on the negative. To combat this symptom, look for the best in every situation and cultivate optimism. If the way you see life is full of difficulties, hardships, and stress, transform it. You can also use this technique during an anxiety attack by changing the focus of your apprehension to something more pleasant. Sleep well. The quality of our sleep reflects on our mood and disposition. Sleeping well is important for your overall health, so create a nightly ritual to keep emotional and physical exhaustion at bay. You can have some tea, do some light reading, or listen to some relaxing audio. Try to stay away from electronics before you fall asleep. Television and cell phones are unnecessary stimuli at bedtime. Another tip is not to think about the next day. Deal with the week's pending issues at the right time, that is, after sunrise. How to treat anxiety. Each person develops an affinity with one or another strategy to control anxiety. By applying these techniques daily, you can minimize anxiety and, as a bonus, take care of your overall mental health. However, if the symptoms of anxiety persist or trigger more intense ones, it is recommended to see a psychologist to be sure of a diagnosis. Therapy is very important for anxious people. In addition to offering ways to manage generalized anxiety disorder daily, it investigates the possible factors behind its emergence. Throughout the sessions, the patient gains confidence and autonomy to control anxiety, modify harmful behaviors, and cope with painful situations, memories, and feelings that may be affecting the present. Therapy also serves as prevention of mental disorders and a bridge to self-knowledge, not just to solve existing problems. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please come back more often and comment below on how you have been dealing with your anxiety. Share your story and tips on how to overcome one of the biggest emotional diseases of our century. Until next time. If you are looking for supplements and products to fight anxiety, check the links in the description box below. See you on the next episode of My Moment. A place to listen, think and reflect about life, goals, to develop a healthy and powerful emotional intelligence. Take care of yourself with love and peace.